everybody, DJ Styles here, Custom Corpses. Okay, so let's get this on the stand first. Back to work. Let's get back to work on my sculpture here. Okay, that works. Now I gotta make sure I can turn on my automatically shut off on me. Fingers. Come on, damn it. What's going on? Okay, I'm live, baby. Now I can read your comments, if there are any. So I have some pictures of the original actual mask of the original 78 mask. It's a Captain Kirk. And what I'm trying to do is replicate the ears, and I can see that the ear is wrong. Weird thing is, I've got this side as the bigger ear, and this side the smaller ear, and it's just the opposite. Now on the flashback, it is on the opposite side, which is really strange. All right, so what really sucks is the angle. I'm looking at this. Yeah, that's about right there, but it's just not round enough. I see what the problem is. This area here is not round enough. It doesn't come out far enough here. Okay. So we got some clay already heated up. All right, so first thing I got to do doesn't look like anybody's on yet. No, 3 people are on. Okay. Just say hello anytime, guys. making the ears more accurate. Since I've got much better pictures of the original mask. Yo, I'm a streaming.
What?
I'm streaming.
YouTube land.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Trying to make these ears more accurate. So what's up?
I'll talk to you when you're done streaming.
Oh, okay.
Mucho loco, man. Mucho loco. New York is doomed.
Really?
Yep.
Couldn't be their policies, could it? It couldn't be their policies, maybe. Say hello, whoever's on with me. What was that? Howdy, what's happening? Special effects artist? I think that's what it says, right? Yep, special effects artist. I'm a working at it. Trying to get this right. It's getting there. It's got a ways to go. It's got a ways to go. It's hard because I'm up above this so high. I'm like my head, my eyesight is like right 5 inches above, maybe 12 inches above the top of the head, my eye level, and I need this thing tilted desperately. A little better looking, but not much better. See what I did there? Yeah, that's looking a lot better. But there it is. clean my knife or my tools easier. Like that. Get the shape right, and then you clean it up. What's happened, Asylum? Slipknot back in the house? This is actually a Captain Kirk. This is actually a William Shatner life cast. This is a life cast mask. And I'm actually trying to replicate the life cast. No movie. We are trying to replicate the life cast. Well, the life cast, I'm not replicating anything. It's already done. That's why the challenge isn't in this. I'm not into it as much as previous, like my other sculpts, because I'm not really. All I'm doing is refining it. I'm making it look as close as I can to the original mask. That's a challenge in itself, but not nearly as challenging as start to finish as you were if you were replicating this. If I was replicating this mask or sculpture, there's a lot more work involved with starting from scratch, that's for sure. I need to look at this. Okay. A little bit of a taper in there when I'm cutting out. Okay, now this looks really thick right here, but it isn't. It's the right shape on the outside. It's the inside that I gotta push out more. See? Still gotta work in this area here. Not too much. Holy mackerel. Getting blown up here. Hold on. Let me read some comments. Alright, Asylum. Sculpture's coming along nicely. Yes, it is. It is definitely coming along nicely. This from Asylum. Let's see, Slipknot. I was watching some scenes from Superman 3 today. The one with insanely scary cyborg. Yeah, I think that wasn't that the one with the comedian, the black guy? What the heck was his name? Jeez, I can't remember his name now. But anyway, I didn't think that was a good movie at all. I thought it was terrible. Okay, Christopher Reeve. That's the one I'm thinking of, with Christopher Reeve. Banduma. What's happening, buddy? And yes, it is looking good. Asylum Beyond the Dead. Slipknot. I just watched the recent Deadpool and Batman movie. Have you seen it? I haven't seen any of them yet. Do you mean Deadpool and Wolverine? Slipknot fan. I've seen that. Thought it was awesome. Slipknot fan. I laughed my ass off when Gambit spoke Cajun. Interesting. Okay, Asylum Beyond. No, the Deadpool and Batman movie. The movie where both Deadpool and Batman are in the same movie together. No, I haven't seen that either myself. I haven't even actually seen the previews or anything to it. So, you guys are talking to each other. When you guys talk to each other, put the @ symbol in front of whoever you're talking. Like, in other words, @ Slipknot fan. @ the Asylum Beyond the Dead. This way I know when you're talking to each other instead of talking to me. And you also see because it'll highlight anybody that's talking to you directly. It'll come up, whatever color it is on your computer. It'll come up as a color that somebody's addressing you specifically. So, makes it a lot easier when you're trying to read through these comments, especially when it starts really getting hectic and a lot of people are on. So, yeah, I'm just picking at this. I'm not really going crazy and trying to get anything accomplished tonight. I want to get the ear shape almost completed. It's too thin. Well, actually, you know what I'll do? Put it on the inside. No, it needs it on the outside. No, don't need it on the outside. Just working on the shape and smoothing it out a little bit as I do it. Oh, let's see. Yes, that's looking okay. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Yes, this peak is still too high here. It's more of a slant than here. That's looking better. Just a little bit. Let's see what else I got going on here. Let's see what this side looks like. According to the real mask. This one I don't think I have too far off. Okay, so this pitch goes back further. All right, so no, not quite. I wish. Just shaping it, trying to get everything right. Almost, but not quite. There'll be a lot of smoothing out before I can actually call this complete. That's good. Oh, that cuts fine. To understand, you're looking at it in two-dimensional. It's not too dipped. It's actually right where it's supposed to be. I've already. And how you can tell that is when you look at it from a profile. The profile's spot on. Oh yeah. Man, I still got a lot of work to do to this thing. But we are getting there. And this is sticking out too far. Oh, but that's much better. Okay, the problem is right here. It's not rounded enough. You know what? Best way to do that. I don't know if you guys watched the Super Bowl, but my Eagles kicked butt. Didn't expect them to beat them that bad. I really didn't. I knew they were going to win. I was confident with that. I just didn't think that they would beat them as bad as they did. Our defense wins championships, man. It really does. The defense has been lights out all year. So that is the true secret to success when you get to the Super Bowl. You gotta have that defense. Let me see, is that getting better looking there? Mm-hmm. that's much better. The shape of that ear now. What I'm doing is trying to make this more rounded. I'm pushing on it, pushing it out further, and then I'll fill it from the back side to fill in the cavity. Nope, it's not off. It's on the money. It just needs to be manipulated and worked. The whole thing is, it's hard to, and it's very, you have to understand, you're not seeing it the way I see it. You're seeing dead on shots, you're seeing one specific angle. When you're sculpting, you can't look at just one angle. You have to constantly move it, pivot, make sure that the cut is falling in line with where it's supposed to be on the face. There's all these variables when you're sculpting. There really is. It's just not, if I have that dipping too shallow from different angles, it won't look right. It looked good straight on, but from a different angle, it won't look right. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. What movie? The weird thing is on camera, it looks like this area here is too deep in this area, but it's not. I change that angle a little bit when I pick up the face. Give you more of a direct shot. Trying to get up. You got to remember the delay. What I see and what you see, there's a big, like a 10-second delay. So I have to move the face in increments to get it so where you can see it dead on, because I can't tell whether I'm straight on or not. See what I'm saying? Now you can see it. At certain angles it looks like the cut's wrong, but it's not. It's on the money. But until I'm done handling this thing, I'm not smoothing anything out. I actually cut in these lines a little bit deeper because I'm going to do another wash with the what do you call it? The naphtha to smooth this out. It'll give it, and all I did was I scribed into the lines just a little bit exactly where they were, and left them there. And I'm just going to wash over them so it'll look better in the end. All right, so that being said, I've got to fill in the back of this head. Back of this ear, because I made the ear a little bit fatter on this side, so what we need to do is fill in that gap because I pushed on it. wife to get up. You gotta go to work. Clay's a little too soft to manipulate it like this. I just had to backfill it and then I gotta let it harden so I can shape his outer ear ring right here a little bit better. Getting there. We are getting there. So what I'll do is once that stiffens up and it's nice and hard, then I'll dig into the corner here in the outer ring. That's pretty much see how much better that looks? The shape of it. Still need a lot of smoothing. The shape of that ear's coming in real nice now. Coming in real nice. This is going to be a nice mask. This is really going to be a nice mask. It's going to give you a good replica of the Captain Kirk, for sure. You'll have a really nice replica of the original life cast. Because that's what this is from. I mean, the original mask is actually from that life cast that I have. That's what a lot of people don't understand. That's where that mask came from. It actually came from the life cast. What I'm trying to do is make it look like somebody's wearing the mask. I'm not trying to make it look like the life cast itself perfectly. That's why I widened the face. I widened the jawline right here on both sides. I put more clay on the jaw right in here. I widened the face. But there's nothing I can do about the distance between the chin and the top of the head. I can't change that because if I change that, I have to change the distance between the lip lines, the nose lines, all that has to be changed. And the eye lines, the eye cuts, everything has to be changed because anytime you make something bigger, everything gets bigger. I can't just add chin to it or just add more clay to the top of the head. Because if I add more clay to the top of the head, when you put the mask on, your eye cuts will be up here. You won't see out of the eye cuts because your eyes will be up above the eye cuts because you've added more clay up here, and when the mask sits on your head, it's not going to align with your eyes. So it's important to always keep all that stuff in check. You know, I mean, look at, I'm seeing like really specific angles when I move this thing around that really look like that Shatner mask. It really looks like the Captain Kirk, Michael Myers mask from the movie. When you start moving it, look at that. Look at that one position. Let me see. Yeah, like that. Was it there when I was sitting there? Oh, I'm trying to move it in the right position of where I had it. I think there. Yeah, see, if you look at this thing from all different angles, you really see it. You really see where, you know, where it is. You know, it's gonna be a really, really nice mask. So I just got to keep working at it. I'm waiting for weather to break. I can't really go crazy. I don't want to take chances on trying to rush this, because main thing is I want to make sure that I have both the flashback that's back here in the background, and I have this here. I'll have this available for this summer, and then I'll start sculpting the aging process, you know, in the fall possibly, for the because I got, now that I've retooled that flashback, I have to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. I got 3 sizes to make of that flashback to bring it down to a 24-inch mask. So there's a lot of work ahead of it yet. It's still got to be done to that flashback. And I mean, to get a 24-inch mask, I've got to make several copies. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to make it a solid resin shell. Solid resin. Don't mind me, I'm having some hot chocolate. That is delicious. I haven't had hot chocolate in years. So I've got the ears shaped just right. Now I want to make sure that they're both the same size. I want these more even than what the original mask looks like. I just think that it looks better. I mean, that looks good, I think. Shape-wise, the shape of the ear, the whole shape of the ear. It's still got to be smoothed out and everything. I dented this right here. When I was tilting it on the other side, no big deal. Yeah, I don't plan on using, I'm making mine a 1-piece resin mold. And the secret to doing that, even if I have to make latex master foam filled, you foam fill it with a really, really soft foam. And I get that from a different supplier than Smooth On. Smooth On doesn't have that really, really soft foam. And this foam here is like really, really soft. And let me show you. I got it right here. It's like pillow material. This stuff is super soft. Really soft. I mean, I'm barely moving. I'm barely touching this, and it's like, you know, collapsing. Now, If this is inside of a latex mask, I can, once the resin stiffens, I just go in and I just pull the whole mask out of the one piece. Now I am going to put seam lines because the original mask had seam lines, but they're going to be sculpted on there, just like you do the hairline. That's going to be sculpted in there, but it's going to be very, very, very subtle, because I do plan on putting glue on the face, on the hairline, on the sideburn lines, and then because that's how the original was. It had glue on it, so I'll be doing that as well. But the key is, I plan on replicating, the actual mask, every little dent, every little, once I get, I'm not nowhere ready. That's why I say there's a lot that has to be done to this yet. There's still a lot that has to be done. The neck is finally now starting to come into the right size. Here's what I also changed, was this neck was going straight up and down this way, and it needed to be slanted in a little bit more this way, like that. So I cut a little more away from the bottom, and then rounded this out. I had to round it more and more. See how much more? Look how much more is in the back here. Look how much I cut away from the front. You see how thin that is now? So that's why it's thin here, because I cut so much away from the front of this chin. But as you can see, the shape of the neck is pretty good round. It's a good round shape. Now it still has to be smoothed out really good. We got the jaw lines looking good. It just needs to be smoothed out. The ears are now getting smoother and looking like they're supposed to. I still got to smooth this out. But yeah, we're a ways off from finishing this bad boy. I'm not going to do it live every time. I'm going to work on this at the same time off camera as much as I do on camera. As a matter of fact, I'm almost done the stream. Guys. Any questions while I'm still on? We want this thing to really look good, don't we? That's why I say the one thing I don't do, even though that I'm not really dedicated to doing this one, is I'm a perfectionist, so I don't care whether I care about it or not. Your heart's not in it as much. My heart's not into this as much, because I didn't do the sculpture. I didn't do the face. I didn't actually sculpt that. This is a replica from a mold. What I can feel good about is making sure that the head shape is right, because that's from here, the neck. The only thing I didn't alter, except for the jaw lines, the only thing I didn't alter was like from here all the way around this. Everything else I did. The head shape, the neck, and I did alter the jawline, and I widened the face. I widened this out more because it needed to. Because actually, even the blown up plastic mask that you get is wide. Look how much wider that face is. Now this is actually from the Life Cast, this plastic mask. You may laugh at it, you may think it's a joke, but this actually came from that Life Cast. It actually, look at it, it fits right in there now. It fits right on the, well, the string's stopping it, but it's so weird, but it fits right into the sculpt. Well, I widened that jaw. I don't want to mess with that jaw. So, but that's wide. And And that means it's trying to replicate the mask that they, you know, with the mask being on somebody's head, not not the face as it was. I mean, if I take that life cast and put it right next to it, you'd see how narrow that is compared to this. Halloween Ends mask. Well, they're both going to have an Ends, Kills, and 2018 version. Both of these sculptures. Oh, half sculpture. Both of them are going to have those versions of the. I'm making a 2018 out of this. But you'll have a 2018 version literally from the actual original Shatner mask mold. That'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yep, we'll do a 2018. I might even do a Halloween 2 and sculpt that bump out here on the nose and widen this nose a little bit. Make a Halloween 2 version. What do you guys think? Should I make an original 1981 Halloween 2 version where Dick Warlock wore it? Or just leave it at this and then stuff the mask with padding so it stretches it out just like it did if he was wearing it. Because that's exactly what this will do. It'll replicate that mask. It'll replicate the Halloween 2 version just based on if your head's wide. Now, what about Dick Warlock's head was wider at the top here. He had a wider upper head, and it wasn't very wide down here, so it didn't stretch the face. He didn't get stretched here, so he fit inside this mask this way, but he didn't fit this way, and that's why the eye cuts got pulled out further. They were really expanded out, and this area here, he said his nose. I did ask him directly. He said his nose was big, and the mask got blown out when his nose was inside the mask nose. It flared the nose out more, and it caused this area here to bulge out more, right on this side of the eye cut, and that's what caused that bulge. Was his nose was in here. It wasn't in the tip of the nose. His nose was up in here, and it was pushing out, and it was causing deformation right in here on both sides of the eye cuts. So that's why it happened. And as a mask maker, and I gave him a mask, he didn't understand why I was asking those questions at first, and then I explained to him why I asked him those questions, because I thought, he looked at me like, what the hell kind of question is that? And I said, well, any kind of little detail I can learn from how that mask fit on your face, I'll be able to replicate the mask more accurately. And the real goal is to actually make the original mask just this, and then just getting people's dimensions on their head. I would measure their head, their upper part of their head from here, or wrap it around. And then if your head was really narrow, where it won't bulge this out, what I would do is I could put foam padding on the inside of the temples, all right, to pull the head, and when it gets on your head, when it's on your head, it'll make the head even wider. and force those eye cuts. And I can even force the nose to be a little, by just putting a little padding inside the nose. But that would be a custom fit to your head. I would have to get complete dimensions of your head. If you're looking for a Halloween 2 look, I would have to get your dimensions of your head, and then I can put the padding inside the mask where it needs to be. And that's still a question on how accurate. So I think what I would do was actually put like Velcro on the inside, so you can Velcro padding in place, so you can move that padding around inside your head, so you don't have to worry about, like if I'm a little off on the measurement, and it doesn't fit quite right on your head, you can move that padding on the inside of the head and position it right where it needs to be to give you the look of the Halloween 2. Trilogy masks. Yes, it'll definitely have the rotting burnt look. It's gonna I'm gonna replicate every little detail that's in those masks, but put it onto this. All right, I want to put every little crack, every little detail is going to be in there. It's going to take. I think that the Halloween 2018 doesn't take as long to do, but the kills and the ends, there's a lot of detail that has to go into the face, and that could take a while. That could take a while to get those done. No, because, and you got to understand, repainting that mask will make it look like the night never happened. And that night, Halloween 2, was a continuation of the very first night. The mask got dirtier as it was worn. Now, the one thing I do agree is it needed to be more white. All right. Because it turned yellow, while Deborah Hill had possession of the mask. Now the rumor is that she was a smoker, and it was in a shoebox, and it was underneath her bed, and I don't know how smoke gets onto latex under a bed in a shoebox. I don't see how. I just think maybe the paint itself got yellowed. It yellowed with it was 3 years in between shooting. Yeah, I heard that story too. It was on Nick Castle's fireplace mantle, and the heat could have caused that paint to harm us. The problem is, man, they're lucky that didn't destroy that latex, because 3 years of being in heat, that's like putting a mask in direct sunlight. It dries out that mask and it'll ruin it. So always want to keep your masks away from heat, definitely away from direct sunlight. I had a Dick Warlock Cemetery Gate mask when he first came out with it. Now my copy of it was it was awful. I didn't like it. It was a very thin casted mask. The one I got, I was hoping that it was a thick cast. I actually asked for a thick casted mask. I asked for a thick casting. I asked for, I didn't plan on wearing the mask because it was small. I know it was a small mask. But it was going to be a decoration. It was going to be I would have put it up on a shelf in a case. I got that mask, and I never really took care of it because I didn't like it. I didn't like the version that he gave me. He didn't weather it right. They were rushing the orders. That's what happened, I think, because he had just came out with that mask when I bought mine, and I had to wait like 2 months to get my mask from Cemetery Gate. And at the time it was $300. And you got the mask, and then you got a signed certificate from Dick Warlock verifying that this was a mask that he approved. So what happened was, I didn't like the way it looked. I asked for heavy weathering. I asked for thick casting. I boxed it back up along with the certificate and sent it back to Cemetery Gate and asked them to please weather it more. Please, do it. And I want a thicker mask. I don't want this thin casted mask. I asked for a thick casted mask. Well, a month and a half, 2 months goes by. The mask shows up at my door. The mask is still thin casted, and it wasn't weathered. And I'm like, what the hell? Did he just return my mask the same way I sent it out, minus my signed certificate? So I didn't do any more business with that company again. That was it. I was pissed off. I was really pissed. I never resolved it because I never even called them after that, because that was infuriating. I said, I just won't do business with them ever again. And still won't. I don't care. I mean, the only way I would buy a Warlock mask now is if I got it from somebody that bought the mask and has a really nice copy. Then I would buy it, because I want to know what I'm getting. I will never order it from scratch because, it came to me opposite of what I wanted. Some people don't want the mask thick. Some people don't want the mask thin. Me, I couldn't wear the mask anyway because it was too small for my head. But I wanted a thick mask for the shelf only. All right. Now, at the time, I didn't really know this, but the thicker a mask is, the more there's shrinkage. The smaller the mask will get. So if you order a thick casted mask and you have a large head and you buy this here, chances are 6 months down the road, this mask is going to be so tight on you, because this is only a 24-inch mask right here. This face is a 24-inch face. I made the head bigger, this area here, so it will fit probably comfortably 24.5 to 25 inch. It'll give you a 25-inch, but your face is still going to have to fit inside this front face, and that's basically a 24-inch mask. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm purposely making the head bigger because my brother's going to want this mask, and I'm making it as big as I can possibly make it without altering the face. I don't want to have to change the whole face to make it. What I need to get is a 3D scanner and a 3D printer, because I don't have one of those yet either, and scan that life cast and then increase it by, I might scan the whole clay model, scan it, and then increase it by like 2 to 3 inches to make it a bigger sculpture. But that'll increase everything by 2 inches, and everything will be aligned perfectly. So, and then you'll have your natural shrinkage, and I'll be able to make a 25-inch mask. I don't think I'm going to ever make anything bigger than 25, because I think 25 fit him as well. It was snug on him, 25-inch. I don't need to make anything more than 25. So the head shape has to be 27 inches for him to fit into a mask. The sculpture has to be 27. Circumference, right around here. All the way around to the furthest point of the back of the head, right around here. That has to be 27 inches. And that's what I think it is. Hold on, let me double check. I'll grab my tape measure. My little... So your food's on the counter. All right, let's see what we got here. Come on. I'll be damned. Look at that. Look right on the money. 27.5 inches. That's exactly where it needs to be. All right. And that'll make a 20, 25, what am I saying? It's 2-inch shrinkage. That'll make it, yeah. That'll make a 24.5 inch. 24.5 mask, which is actually a perfect size. I'll see you later. I'm jumping off of here in a minute anyway. No, the head's bigger. The face is actually the same size as a 24. Gotta remember, I have to, this is 27 inch, 20, what did I say it was, 27.5 inches? 27.5. The key is, yeah, wait a minute. No, that has to be, hold on. Let me do that again. Let me do that again because I want to make sure I'm right on that number. I'm wrong. It's 26. Hold on. It's 26.5 inches. I must have been over top of that ear. That's what it was. Yeah, it's 26.5 inches. All right, see it? It's upside down, but it's 26.5. So that'll make a 24.5 inch mask, which is perfect. Especially a thick casted mask, it'll make it 24.5. So that's how big this. It's 26.5 inches, not 27.5. The sculpture is 26.5 inch, which is a perfect size because it'll make, if I do a thin casted mask, it'll make a 25 inch mask. If I make a thick casted mask, it'll make a 24.5 inch mask. Understand? Masks shrink about 2 inches. Latex shrinks up to about 2 inches. The thinner it is, the less shrinkage. The thinner the casting. So if you want a thin casted mask, you're going to have a bigger mask. You will have a 25 inch. A thicker mask will give you a 24.5 inch mask over time. It'll shrink up over time. About, it'll be fully shrunk probably within a couple months. It doesn't shrink up as fast as you think it does. It shrinks up over time. You get a mask for me, and I just pour it, and it's freshly done, probably it'll be a couple of months before it really fits you nice if you have a small head and you need like a 24.5 inch mask. It'll be a couple months before it really fits you nice. That's why from now on, whenever I order, or whenever anybody orders from me, I'm going to ask you to take that exact same measurement of your head on top of the ear, all right, to the furthest peak of the back of your head and across your scowl. Yeah, I didn't drop that down far enough. Yeah, it's 26.5 inch. All right, now, that's what I want you to do, is measure your head just like that. And let me turn it. So you can see where I have the tape on top of the ear and to the furthest peak of the back of the head.